Picking up where I left off. I meant to do one of these a couple of days ago, but you know how things can be sometimes. So, I'll start off with Friday. Carolina, New England. We saw New England dominate that one pretty cleanly. You know, it's really sad to have two field goals blocked in the same day. Carolina, I'm looking at you. That is exactly how paper champs become paper champs. A team that looks real good on paper, but does stupid things like let field goals get blocked multiple times in the same game. That's exactly how you fail to live up to your hype and potential as a team. So, get that worked out. New England, nice showing offensively and defensively. Real poor showing for Carolina. Only bright point to me was their new return guy, the rookie defensive back. Robinson, I think. I can't remember his name, but I think he's going to be something special. I do like the way he looked. Otherwise, you know, there's nothing good to be taken away from this game for a Carolina fan. Titans and Bills. Obviously, pretty convincing win by the Titans. Vince Young and the Titans' offense in general finally gets on track. You know, scoring a couple of points. Vince Young with the one rushing touchdown and the one passing touchdown. Lindo White and Chris Brown both had solid games, but neither managed to distance himself from the other. So we're looking at an unfortunate running back tandem this year. Bad for fantasy teams. J.P. Lossman did okay. I'm still anticipating him to have a big breakout season, throwing deep to players like Lee Evans and Peerless Price. Aaron Schobel got his big contract extension in Buffalo, by the way. That's big, $51 million. I like the guy a lot, and he deserves it. St. Louis and Oakland. Guess who's getting his roll on? You know, I'm gonna eat my words here. I thought he was done. But if the preseason is any indication at all, and I do think it is, Culpepper is going to start for the Raiders this year, and he's going to play all right. I think he maybe not as much good as what we hoped out of him in like Miami, but hey, right now in Oakland they'll take what they can get. I still wonder if Andrew Walter should be thrown in there just because he hasn't shown all his cards yet. But Culpepper gives them the opportunity to win games right now, so he should have that spot locked down. Pretty good game all around by the Raiders, winning 20-10. Had some pretty good offense, some pretty good defense. Held down Mark Bolger quite well, who did not have a particularly good game. No Torrey Holt apparently though, so take with it what you will. And then moving on to Saturday, 9 games. We saw San Diego and Arizona. I didn't actually watch this game, but I saw highlights. A lot of offensive weapons in this game. 33-31, a lot of points. We saw, the starters light things up quite a bit. Leinart and Rivers, 2 young quarterbacks throwing to their multitude of targets. The Chargers throwing up a ton of points without LT, so that means quite a bit. Disappointing showings by both defenses, which is more of a concern to me, but exciting game. Rivers really lit things up now that I look at the stats. Cleveland to Denver. It's hard to say things about Denver right now with no Travis Henry. Cutler looked a little shaky out there. Brady Quinn continues to impress. I think he should start opening day. It's sounding like he won't, but I still think he should. Let's see. It was kind of a slow game. Not one I'd be terribly interested in watching. But Winslow, in spite of not playing as much as he would have normally, managed to do quite well, which bodes well for my fantasy teams, as I always get Winslow. And the Denver run defense still has some problems. They let Jamal Lewis run, kind of have their way with him in terms of what he's usually able to do. I mean, I don't think he's very good anymore, so something's up with that run defense. They gotta get that figured out because that's ever so important. Dallas, the Texas Bowl. Texans win surprisingly enough, 28-16. Jacob Jones, what's his name? The guy in Houston, Jacoby Jones. I can't be bothered to look it up right now, but he's had a special preseason. He returned a kick for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown. And this is all just in one game, by the way. And the Houston Texans have officially found their number 2 to Andre Johnson in the receiving corps. Matt Shaw played really well. Got to give him credit. I still don't have faith in the guy, but he's played well to this point, so good job. Amon Green got on track. Even Ron Dane's looking decent. For the Dallas side of things, obviously kind of a stunning and disappointing loss, but Romo played well. Enough, I suppose. The run game looked just okay. Kind of a disappointing game. I still think Marion Barber needs to start in Dallas, but he got outshined in this particular game. We'll see how much that means. Terrell Owens with his first touchdown of the preseason. It was his only catch of the game, but the relevant point is he looks healthy and he looks ready to play. I would expect big things out of this guy in terms of fantasy with no broken finger to get in his way. Jets and Giants. Jets got dominated. Don't let the score fool you. The Jets were being dominated when the starters were in. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Kellen Clemens came in and helped lead the Jets, along with a Danny Ware. Pennington with that big touchdown pass to start the game that was on a blown coverage by, I believe, McQuarters. And from that point on, the Giants did manage to dominate. Eli had an okay game, kind of conservative, but he protected the ball, led them to a touchdown, and did a decent job. Brandon Jacobs and Reuben Drones still kind of just chugging along, looking alright, I'll admit. Ahmad Bradshaw continues to tear up the preseason. Makes me wonder if he's going to be something this season. Still no Thomas Jones for the Jets, so I wouldn't say too much about them just yet. But with no Pete Kendall anymore, obviously he being traded to the Redskins, that's going to be a concern, I think. And the Giants have some severe kicking issues. They might be forced to go out and get someone like Vanderjagt or something, but that's not going to be any fun. So Tynes just not kicking well. I don't know what they're going to do. Chicago, San Francisco. Chicago wins in a shootout, 31-28. Grossman played pretty well. He had one interception that got returned for a touchdown, and another that would have been returned for a touchdown if the guy managed to hold on to the ball. But otherwise, he played fairly well in spite of little support from the running game, which never really got on track. Had 2 touchdowns, quite a few nice throws. He's inconsistent as always, but this was a step in the right direction. For the 49ers, very little offensive output. Kind of a sorry-ass performance from the offense. I think like 1 first down the entire first half, so I'm sure they're not happy about that, especially in this dress rehearsal game, but no Frank Gore, so I'm all for giving free passes. Ravens-Redskins was about as boring as you can get because of the stupid weather delay. The game took forever to start, and when it did, not much happened. No Jason Campbell for Washington. Todd Collins came in and played decently. Looks like there wasn't any Clinton Portis either. So really very little offensive output for either side. A defensive touchdown made the difference for the Redskins in a 13-7 win. But, McNair is looking pretty good, I would say. That's really the only thing I can take from this game. McGay, he didn't get enough carries for me to make a definitive pick on that. So I'll just say McNair played quite well and leave it at that. Bucks and Dolphins. Off another offensive showing. Couple of interesting defensive turnovers that led to points directly or indirectly. John Beck played extremely well, I'd say. I think he's looking a lot better than I thought he would. I don't have a lot of faith in the guy, and I think he's too old to be a rookie. But he's doing all right. Trent Green looked average, decent. Garcia was just all right. Cadillac Williams didn't get nearly enough carries to judge. I really want to see him take a full load and see what he can do with that. I'll continue this in part 2. One moment.